was in ninth grade, I had the best friends group I've ever had in my entire life. We used to talk to each other every single day. We used to hang out in each other's homes. We used to do sleepovers, and it was pretty fun. We also made a song together, and I still listen to it to this day because I really loved it. I really loved every single thing we created together because I deeply thought, I could swear that we were really good friends. I still remember the fact that I thought to myself that if any one of them was about to die, I would give them my life. I would actually throw myself in the way just to make them survive if they were going to be hit by a bus. I actually remember that I didn't mind dying at all if it was for their sake. Because they were my friends, right? We are friends, that's what friends do to each other. I trusted them. I would put my hands on the fire. I would burn the entire world just to revenge their death. And I thought it was the same for them. I remember at the time, since I was 14, 15, we had a WhatsApp group, right? Because this is what teenagers do. And we used to be very active there. Me, mostly, because when I left school I had work to do. I worked in the morning and I went to school in the afternoon. And on my way home, on my way to work, on my way to school, I used to talk to them. I used to, oh yeah, how far are you guys from the school? But with the time, I've started to realize that they had some weird conversations. They would be starting to talk about something they said on the WhatsApp group, but they didn't send a single message there. I started to be confused. How did you guys started talking about this topic? When did you guys actually started about this topic if we are together every single time you are at school and you didn't send a single message on the WhatsApp group? I started to become suspicious. I started to become a little bit insecure about myself. Because this is how the group was. We were 2 boys and 3 girls in the entire group, right? The boys were me and Tel, and the girls were Anna, Gabi, and Liza. And they used to talk a lot, and we were so close to each other in my point of view. Until one day I realized what was actually happening. I listened to them talking, and when I was almost getting into school and I was almost near them to say hello, I realized that they had another WhatsApp group without me. And this might sound so silly, this might sound so stupid to be really sad and to be heartbroken about, but I trusted them with my life. I could literally die for them. I wouldn't feel regrets at all. So when I discovered that they had a WhatsApp group without me, I felt so betrayed. I felt my heart skipping some beats. I started to feel so depressed because on the previous school I had no friends and I felt miserable. So maybe I was so desperate to having friends, maybe I was so desperate to keep the friends I have made that they started pushing me because I started pushing too much of friendship. So it's not actually their fault at all, but I couldn't help but feel betrayed. I couldn't help but feel insecure about myself. I couldn't help but not looking them in the eye. I couldn't hold the thought. I couldn't even perceive looking them in the eyes and smiling and acting normally. Because I was always trying to be like the fun guy, because I was ugly as fuck, I still am. So when we are ugly, we have to deal with some shit, right? We have to know how to be fun, we have to know how to be a lot of things. And so I was always the fun guy. I always tried to see if everyone is okay. I always tried to make everyone smile. But then suddenly it all started falling off. And from one day to another, I completely changed. I remember that I went to school sad. Before, I used to have a smile on my face. I used to be excited to go for school. And then school was just another event. It was just like my fucking work. I was working as a 14-year-old in a bus company where I had to give people papers and do basic stuff, right? Because you're basically a child, you cannot have any important thing to do. And I didn't really like the job, but I didn't hate it either. It was like, oh yeah, job, and I was getting paid like $150 per month in dollars/euros. Going to school and meeting my friends, I couldn't be happier. Then there was no point in going. I went to school with my earphones and I didn't want them to plug them off. I didn't pay attention at all to the class because I was thinking and I was listening to the voices in my head saying that I wasn't enough. Saying that again, I actually didn't have any friends. It made me realize that they wouldn't die for me. My mental health got fucked. I couldn't be happy. I couldn't smile. I couldn't even look them in the eyes. Because it's pretty hard to explain what I really felt, because I felt like my heart was burning and my soul had died. I felt like I didn't have any reason to live at all, because they were my reason to live. They were my friends. After 4 years of having no friends and feeling lonely, I finally found a group where I belong. I finally had a place. I finally had something to call home besides the place I lived in. And after a while, I just stopped talking to them, and they realized and they understood that they messed up. And they didn't actually apologize. They just said, oh yeah, my bad, we didn't even know why we created this group without you. We just did it. So I was still a little bit saddened. The fact that they didn't even apologize the way I expect them to broke my heart forever. I felt miserable. I felt unwanted. I felt replaceable. I felt betrayed because I would die for them, and they didn't care about me at all. I really thought we were friends, and maybe to them we were really true friends. Maybe for them that was how a friendship should be. But I didn't know that. I didn't have a friendship before that. Almost never. I actually forgot what the term friend means. But it's funny, because after 5 years, after moving to another fucking continent, after moving from South America to Europe, I still miss them. Sometimes I want to call them and see how's it going. But I know for sure that they wouldn't do it for me. I know that they don't really care about my existence anymore, and sometimes I doubt if they even did. I'm not even sure that if I died, they would feel sad, they would feel regret, they would feel anything. Of course, they would feel like, oh yeah, fuck, he died, but afterwards, would they really care? Because I would. I genuinely would. If Tel died, I would feel a lot of pain. I would feel a little bit empty for at least 1-2 months. And to heal from that, I've been trying really hard to slowly ghost their existence from my mind, but it is a slow process. It takes a lot of time. It takes a fuck ton of time just to get rid of a lot of thoughts I have about them. It is a process and it takes time. So the moral of the story is that don't assume people would do the same thing for you that you would do for them. Also, don't put your happiness all on exterior factors, because that was on me. It was my fault that they were almost my only source of happiness. I should have learned that we need to take care of ourselves first and not rely on people, but well, after 4 years not having friends, having 4 is like winning the lottery, right? And it is very painful to me to admit that they don't care about me. Probably they never did. I always did my best for them. Every time we just started talking and we just started doing anything, I would give my soul and heart to make the best experience possible for them. But whenever I tried to do something, that was just irrelevant. So it is a very painful process to heal from these friendships that break our hearts, especially when we trust our fucking souls to them. It is just like a friend of yours stab you in the back again and again and again, and in the end they didn't even apologize to you. They just say, oh yeah, my bad, this knife was here. Healing from friendships is a slow and fucking difficult process, but it is possible. So if you want to heal and if you want to know how to actually make real friends that really care about our existence, check the first link in the description. Goodbye.